yours.
All
Okay,
right.
Dr. Zhang, yes, it's being recorded, so if you do not mind, please go ahead and start the presentation.
Okay. I'll go ahead and start. For some reason, I cannot see anybody here, but assume you are the new assistant professor in the US, and certainly on behalf of my office, Office of Chief Research Officer, I'd like to welcome you. So the next 10, 15 minutes, I will give you a very quick introduction about our mission and our job and some hints for you as assistant professor. Then Kathleen, my director for research, will talk a little bit more about our team composition, etc. First message I'd like to let you know is we are changing. The US has been excellent, honestly, maybe the best liberal arts college in the Middle East. However, our research funding traditionally was low, and like 2016, 2017, our total spending was about $2 million US. Just to give you a comparison, I was department chair computer science 20 years ago in Texas A&M. At that time, a single department would have a few US dollars. So you can see that's why it's low, really low. However, last year, 2019, our board of trustees approved a research agenda which will support our research and scholarly work with allocation funding $500 million for 5 years. So we're now in the second year, beginning the second year of spending this much money and to enhance our university and your research publications. Let me tell you who I am. I'm the Chief Research Officer. I report to the Chancellor directly. Before I joined this, you can see I'm pretty old, so I have a very long resume. I started from China, had a PhD in UMass, US. Then I was assistant professor at Amherst College. I taught in Australia. I made my tenure in Texas A&M. I told you I moved up in administration. Then I was division director in US National Science Foundation, Dean of Science, and director, which is really the president for 10 years in University of Macau before I moved down here. Number one question normally people ask is why do we have to research? Especially two of you sitting here, you are from internet studies. In engineering science, if you look at the media, nobody will say, oh, we do research, we invent new technology, 5G, 6G, cell phone, computer, genomics, and we make a lot of money. In my own opinion, okay, this is not AUS officially opinion, in my own opinion, to make money is number 4 objective we do research. For me, number 1, the reason we do research, do scholarly work, is like we're playing sports. Why you have to play sports? You don't want to beat the other guy down, okay? Personally or physically, you want to prove you can win, okay? Research, scholarly work, same thing here. You want to tell the whole world that you can analyze something, you can discover something new. Further, when you discover something new and when you do something new, like in AUS and actually in UAE, you know, we now start a Mars mission. Why do we want to send people to Mars? You think we're going to find a ton of gold from Mars carrying back? I don't think so. We do that because community feel really good. Community will be really proud for what we accomplish. Okay, that's another purpose of research. First, given we are professors, doing research, doing scholarly work will keep us current in the field, and that will be really good for our students. Finally, which is equally important, nevertheless, if we do research, which have a physical value, and of course we can sell for that. So my office actually support all these functions for you. Your mission, especially if you're assistant professor, I think in addition to teaching, I'm talking about on research part, is you want to prove you can be competitively successful in conducting research scholarly work, okay? And my suggestion given, you know, I started with assistant professor 40 years ago. Make sure you have a plan. You know, now you have a job which is very challenging job. You have to teach, you have to research, you have to serve, you do many things. So I suggest every week you need to have a schedule yourself, block certain amount of time, not much. I would say 4 hours, 8 hours be maximum. Block that time for research only. We all talk. When I was assistant professor, we all talk. Research is my highest priority. However, tomorrow you have a class. You have to prepare a class. After class, you have to talk to students. You have department meetings. Honestly, in the reality, if you think about it, sometimes research is the last thing you do. After you finish all the urgent things, then you say, oh, I still have 2 hours tonight. Let me write a paper. That impact your research productivity. So it's good to have a weekly schedule. I would say, no, you don't need more than 8 hours. Block solid 8 hours to do research. And I have a quarterly plan. What I mean is, for example, every quarter you say, I want to make sure I submit a paper, okay? Maybe every quarter you want to write a chapter of the book. Make sure you complete that. If you finish that, give yourself a break, go on vacation. Another thing that I'd like to mention to you is I assume you already been active in research already and you have some paper maybe in the pipeline. It's very important to use AUS affiliation now if the paper had not been published, because we count your research productivity by the papers or work produced with AUS affiliations. And also, I'd like to let you know, we pay special attention to Web Science paper because that's the highest standard paper being collected in the database. My office collect those papers, do analysis, and report to the dean and department heads and the chancellor, say who published how many papers. We count one by one in the paper, the papers in Web Science. Now, assuming now you are transitioning, you probably just finish your PhD or you have another job, come over here. So now physically transitioning also means you may like to change your research direction, which normally is a good thing. However, transitioning takes time, just like your travel takes time. So make sure your transition be smooth, plan well, because especially if you are on a rolling contract direction and you want to get a rolling contract, you can now tell department head dean, say, oh, for 2 years, I'm transitioning, so I have no productivity. That's not good for you. You need to maintain productivity. As my first line say, you have to prove you're competitively successful. You cannot just say, oh, I'm working on that. Everybody can say that, that won't count. Finally, it's just a friendly reminder, because you're under pressure, you're going to submit a lot of things. You submit paper to conference, journals, you submit proposals, etc., etc. Sometimes you say, oh, I give it a try. If I publish, publish. If I don't publish, I lose nothing. You do lose if the paper not published. Not only you lost your time, you lost your reputation. So be very careful when you submit things to the external agency like conference, journals, or grants, because people read you this, and if people found it not good, your reputation damage. Honestly, when I was reviewing paper, somebody sent papers 3 times in a row. You know, I read this paper 1 time, 6 months later, same paper submit, the editor underneath review again. 3 months later, he submitted another similar paper to another journal, I will review again. Guess what? Number 4, when this paper come, I don't want to even read it, just killed right in front. I may not be right, I may not be doing good things, but that's a human attitude, to be careful. How can I move next one? Our office do provide a variety of resources, and I also like to think that it's very important to maintain collaboration inside department and externally. We will have research grant opportunities, especially for now. By August 31st, you have 11 days. If you want to submit a paper to a so-called open access journal, you will have an opportunity to submit. You can check with the casting or check with my office or check with your department head. They will tell you how to prepare a package, very simple application. Okay, you just take 15 minutes, you can finish application, we allocate fund for you to publish in open access journal. Paper don't have to be accepted, but I want to see a paper in submission, then we'll provide funding for that. Good luck for that. Next one, let me introduce Kathleen. She is my director of research, and she will introduce herself and tell you my office composition. Kathleen, please.
Hi, thank you for those of you who are here attending new faculty orientation and for tracking along the comments in the side. I'm trying to keep track. It seems that Dr. Zhao may have been cut off just a little. There was questions about whether or not it was open access. So we do, as Wei mentioned, run a small program, the open access program, which we help pay for those fees in order to have a paper released in an open access format. If you have additional questions, you can contact me after this. We're happy to give the details. As Wei said, I am Kathleen Furr. I have been with AUS now for about 3 years, but I have been administrating research for quite a while before this. Before here, I was in Texas with Southern Methodist University, University of Illinois before that, and then before that, I was here in the region. I was in Qatar with Texas A&M, and here in the UAE, back when they had a National Research Foundation where I was acting as sponsor instead of recipient of funds. So long time in the game. If you ever have questions, don't hesitate. So let me tell you a little about the people who you're probably going to interact with most. For those of you who are in the meeting from CAS, I will regularly be directing you to Madhav, this gentleman here. Each college has their own representative. We call them PAGs, Post-Award Grant Management Specialists. We have embedded them in your college to make them more accessible to you. We have Akshara, who is with SBA and CAD, for those of you in those colleges. Madhav will be in CAS, and Rashid in engineering. You can always reach out to myself, any of the PAGs, Sonda Bob and Yusra Rosaic, who are in the main building with Wei and I when we're physically on campus. Lord knows when that will be again. You can either reach out to the people by name, but what we actually encourage is that you reach out to them. For example, those of you in the psychology department who are in CAS, instead of emailing directly to Madhav, you can just send an email to casresearch@aus.edu. Anybody in CEN can go to cenresearch@aus.edu, and so on and so forth for SBA and CAD, SBA research, CAD research. For those of you who will be conducting research studies moving forward for things like IRB, you will likely be communicating mostly with Yusra, who handles a lot of our IRB applications and protocols. So what we are going to offer as a team and what you can come to Madhav, myself, or anyone on the team directly for are some of the things listed on the screen. So we will help you when it comes to organizing when you're going to apply for research funding, as well as working with the funding that you receive. Hopefully, you'll have lots to work with. We do provide financial support for paying for personnel, meaning research assistants, course releases, graduate research assistance. That also includes undergraduate student employment, which is not listed here, attending conferences, the purchases of equipment, software, and other supplies. We do try to evaluate all of our internal proposals as much like you hear other high standard programs as possible. For those of you familiar with how the NSF runs in the United States, they have other experts in the field evaluate proposals to make sure that the merit of the proposal warrants the money being awarded. We do have strategic focus areas, but we support, unlike many other places, we do support creative and scholarly work that is not necessarily a traditional, scientific research publication. We typically fund different size projects, whether they're small, medium, or large, depending on the nature of the work. And in doing that, we will be able to help you source new opportunities. You might occasionally see emails from our office announcing about new opportunities you can apply for. We will then help you with that application process, helping you build budgets, making sure you've gotten all the necessary pieces for the internal approval to apply externally or internally. Then with coordinating your post-award, meaning how you're going to spend the money, where is your money located, how can you track it, and helping with the compliance related to your project, because compliance begins from the time of proposal, right? Making sure that you're in compliance with physical safety needs, with IRB, conflict of interest, if you have export control. If it is a contract instead of a traditional grant, we help execute those, as well as technology transfer for those of you who end up having IP disclosures, which can then be commercialized upon. I do see that there is a question about IRBs, which I think we only have another slide or two left, so I will come back to that, I promise. We will be hosting some workshops very soon. You'll get announcements noticing that we have some new training that will be online webinar workshops. One is going to be a general overview for PIs. This is going to tell you where to find our policies, where can you find our documents, how can you get help on them. Then there's going to be a training for anyone who's a new HOD, so that they understand what their role is in helping their responsibility in being your HOD when it comes to research. We will also be holding individual trainings pertaining to compliance and purchasing, because sometimes those can be a complicated process, right? Who do I check with? How do I get the approval? How do I track things? So keep your eye out for those new upcoming announcements coming from OCRO. For those of you who have not already been, I'm sure you're getting training on how to use iLearn, which is the online Blackboard tool. We have an iLearn community page called Office of Research. This is where we keep most of our stuff posted. If you're not already a member on that, or you don't know how to, or you're not sure if you already are, please reach out to us. We can help get you on that list. I think that's all for me, but I want to address the question that was out there. I had one question. Do we need one if we were part of a project but we did not collect the data ourselves? That's a very specific question, but the short answer is no. If you're not collecting any data here, you do not need to be running you've got approval from the home institution where the data is being collected. You wouldn't need to run it here. So further clarification on that, you can always reach out to us at irb@aus.edu or give myself or anyone on the team a call. So I think if there's questions, I'm happy to field them right now. Otherwise, we're pretty much on time to be handing over to Ahmed Abubakar, I believe.
Yeah, let me just answer quickly. Both Cassidy and I, actually every member of our team really had open office policy. You can drop in anytime. Of course, now all our offices are closed, so virtually it's open anyway. So send us an email and I'll be happy to have virtual coffee with you online, okay? So we can chart more specific your concerns, your demand, your requests, and maybe some good news you can share with us. Thank you very much.
Please remember that all of the phone numbers that you see listed for anyone on our team, when you look us up in the directory, all of us, those phones will forward to us wherever we are at, so please don't hesitate to contact us, email or phone, if you have questions.
Kathleen, maybe if you do not mind, maybe you can talk a little bit about the opportunities specifically for the new faculty. Do you have anything like that? Because I remember when I first joined here, I got the opportunity to apply for the seed funding. Not a big amount, but we have something like that for, to help us, the new faculty that just joined AUS.
So for those of you in the room who have been appointed on new, like the 3-year contract, you will be able to speak directly to your dean about what is considered seed funding. Each college handles this just a tiny bit differently, so I don't want to sit here and explain how it works because there might be people from another college and I'll confuse them. But if they ask directly to their dean about their seed funding and how that works, they'll be able to get that. Also, as Dr. Zhao mentioned, we currently are running the open access program. Any of the new faculty, regardless of the term of your contract, can be applying for that, but it is closing very, very soon. You can find additional information about the open access program on the Office of Research iLearn community. There is a folder called Internal Funding Opportunities, and you can find it in there. For those of you who are going to be sticking around for a while, we hope to be announcing soon our traditional research funding opportunity. And as I mentioned, as opportunities from external sponsors come up, we do try to get those announced, posted in iLearn. We try to make them available. We send them to deans to be circulated. And of course, if on your own, in the course of conducting your own research and studies, you come across an opportunity that you think you might want to apply for, simply let myself or someone in the office know, and we will then assist you in applying to that opportunity. There's always new opportunities both in the UAE, also abroad, even US federal funding, whatever it is you find. If you think that you might be able to qualify here, please let us know so we can work with you to make that happen.
Let me just be a little bit more specific on the seed funding. My office will provide, I think, a few thousand dirham per new faculty member to the dean, to basically to your college. Then this fund actually is managed by dean's office. Basically, dean have discretion, say, okay, you can use, for example, a particular assistant professor say, I want to travel, dean say you can use travel. Maybe dean say, I don't like you to travel, you probably can buy a book, then you can buy a book. And dean maybe say, maybe some assistant professor need a bit more, dean can give her a little bit more, maybe another one a bit less, so dean can do that. Different college, different dean at a different time have different way to manage. So it's not a proposal oriented. We literally say, okay, this college this year you have 10 faculty member. We give you basically this much money, and the dean took that, and dean have to use it for you, but the dean have discretion to decide how to use. So don't hesitate to talk to the dean when you have a request, and our money will be shipped to the college pretty soon. Okay. Good luck in AUS. This is a great university.
One last clarification in case I caused some confusion. The internal opportunities we hope to announce soon, while they're traditionally for our 3-year contract faculty members, for anybody in the room who is on a 1-year contract, faculty contract, you are more than welcome and encouraged to still seek out external research grants, which we will assist you with.
Great. Thank you so much, Kathleen. Thank you so much, Dr. Zhao. Really appreciate that.
Unfortunately, I have another meeting at 2:30, so I think I will leave soon. And welcome to send me email, and be happy to have virtual coffee with both of you or any of you. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Ahmad, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you fine. I'm just going to stop the sharing of the file from the CRO office. Do you have your document uploaded already, Ahmad?
It's not a document.
Thank you, Kathleen. Appreciate that.
It's not a document. I'm gonna do it live on the
Oh, sure.
tool.
Yeah, that's even better.
Sure. If somebody has a question, because I'm on a different screen, I'm not gonna see the chat. So please speak
Maybe
up.
you can introduce yourself first, Ahmad.
Sorry?
Can you introduce yourself first?
Can I include what? Sorry?
Can you introduce yourself?
Is this okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so welcome everybody. We're all excited to have you on board. My name is Ahmed Abu Bakr, and I work in the Chancellor's Office. I'm the Director of Institutional Research and Analysis. This office takes care of statistical analyses, decision support for the university leadership and the programs and the colleges. We also provide accreditation support for local accreditation authorities, and we also provide support for the Middle States accreditation. As some of you would know, we also have specialized accreditation like ABIT or NAB or AACSB. We provide the data that the programs use to create the self-studies and reports for those. But the leadership of our office in accreditation activities are more pronounced in the local accreditation and the Middle States accreditation. Apart from that, we also take care of assessment activities, or this is a new activity at the AUS. We also provide support to the provost office about this tool that I'm about to introduce to you. It's a tool that we use to try to keep track of our faculty's research and scholarly activity. Scholarly activity is for those disciplines that are not really research intensive and are more art or humanities based. Um, um, but anyway, so in order to introduce this tool, think of this as a database, um, and it's also used to generate the curriculum vitae or CVs of the faculty that you could find on the website. All the data from in that particular faculty CV come from this tool. It's also used for the annual review and evaluation of faculty. It's used for workload reports and annual reports of our faculty workloads, and some other ad hoc reports. The biggest other ticket item that I can think of that I didn't cover already is an annual report we have to provide to the Ministry of Education every year in the spring. About the specific research and scholarly activities of our faculty in the past year. Um, the link to access the tool is activityinsight.aus.edu. You will be able to access it from anywhere in the world. You just land on this page and click on login. If you already have an AUS email username and password, it's the same username and password that you, sorry, I will do that again. I'm already logged in, so so it already had my username and password. So I'm just going to show you how you log in. It's going to show you the accounts that you have saved on Chrome. You say, or you enter it from scratch. I'm going to enter one from scratch. So you see, this is my AUS username and password. And this is my AUS password. Sorry, that's the fire alarm, but nothing to be worried about. And this is the landing page. Now, my landing page might be slightly different from yours because I have a super access. Yours might not have the tools or the workflow. Yours would probably have the managed data and the reports. So basically, I'm not going to give you a detailed training here. It's just to explain the tool and the different sections. I'm just going to choose somebody randomly here. This person I always use for demonstration. You'll see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different areas, each with a theme about it. This is about the general credentials and the information about the person, including their education, their past university-related activities, any affiliations, if they are members of certain associations, like I'm a member of the Association of Institutional Research. Some engineers might be members of the IEEE. Some architects might be members of uh, uh, whatever the association for some lawyers might have a bar association, etc. So this data will some of the data will come in directly from the university HR information. Just log in and check if the information is correct, like your title, your if you have any other position, like if you're chair of anything, if the address of your office is correct, if the phone number, etc. That might be relevant for the website information. Degrees, this would not feed from any place. You'll probably have to enter this yourself, etc. So go in these sections and make sure that if there are information that was fed from Banner or from the university databases, just to double check that they are correct. If there is a problem, then either contact myself or HR and ask for this to be corrected. the head of department could be another source of information on how to navigate. But I'm more than happy to be contacted, and I will guide you on how to fix things. My email is, well, Norita can distribute that later on. The research activities, that's a bit more tricky because it's more intensive. So well, before that, let's go into a teaching, um, scheduled teaching. This is something that's going to be fed directly from the database. So this person in spring 2020 was teaching 1, 2, 3, 4 sections of different courses. Um, it will show you the semester, the title of the course, the prefix and course number, etc. Anything that has an R would be a read-only thing. So you will not be able to change it. So if you see something here that's wrong, just let us know and we will try to fix it. Um, Anything with an asterisk should have something in it and should already be populated. Um, so, sorry, any question? Okay. Okay, so this is how the teaching screen will
Yes,
look.
there is a question, Ahmed. Jais wants to know if he needs to create an account because he couldn't log in.
Does Jais have a username and password for the email?
Yes, he does.
Okay, let me ask about this, and I will circle back to you. I do not. No, the answer should be no. You should not be creating an account. It should be created for you. It could be that it's the IT is waiting for the semester to start before they start activating accounts, but it shouldn't be each faculty creating their own. I will figure out. I will check how or when your account will be activated and get back to you on this.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so the tricky part is the publications, or this section, the scholarship or publications. So I'm just going to click on publications, and you can either add one item at a time, which would be fine if you only have 1 or 2 publications. But if you have pages and pages of publications, that could be a bit problematic. But if you would like to add one at a time, you come here, and every field with an asterisk is a mandatory one. There has to be a title, a value there, and you'll see they are limited on each page, on each screen. Like the contribution type, these are the possibilities under publication of what can be chosen. The content status is either not submitted, submitted, published, accepted, etc. The title is obviously your paper title or chapter title. If it's a chapter, then the larger work would be the book title, the journal name, publisher, etc. There, if you remember, I mentioned a specific report that the university has to submit to the ministry every year. Earlier this week or a week ago, every college received a copy of missing data from that report. So you might want to check with the administrator in your department to see what the problems were, because some people did fill it properly, but because this is a purchase tool, not something that we made ourselves. Some fields were not labeled as mandatory, so they were left blank. For example, the year of publication. I noticed that it was frequently left blank, or the date of publication. So without that date, we cannot submit the data, or without the name of the publication, we cannot submit the data to the ministry. So if something is missing, it's not going to go to the ministry. And it might be helpful to check with the college to see where they are about the missing data. My suggestion is to make sure that it's complete, just to make sure that you are not pressed for time when something is missing later on. So this is the screen that you use if you are adding one at a time. This tool also allows us to add stuff in bulk if you have a profile on either Google Scholar or Mendeley or EndNote or Scopus. Now, what you have to keep in mind is that Scopus is on the right, or Scopus or Web of Science or these things on the right. You have to use the screen on the right. If it's Google Scholar or Mendeley or one of these ones, you use the one on the left. And that's basically you download your profile from Google Scholar and you upload it here. Whereas in Scopus, you search for that person in Scopus with certain parameters, and it imports it for you on your behalf without you having to download your profile from Scopus. And it gets most of the required information. I'm not going to do this because I don't want to ruin this person's profile. But basically, you select the ones that pertain to you. It shows you everything that's listed under that person's profile as it thinks that this person is our J. Abdallah. So if you are doing it on for your profile and you think, no, this is not my, it's just a similar name, so I'm not going to tick this. So I'm going to tick everything except this one and this one because they are not mine. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue with the import. And are you sure you want to cancel this import? Yes, I'm sure. So just to make sure that the data is correct, if you can, please go back to your profile after you do the imports and make sure that the data is correct. If there is a problem, you should still be able to contact me or somebody from IT. I'm going to share the names with Narita to share across the group, who will be able to help you delete. Well, you can actually delete it yourself. So you can highlight these two. Let's say I imported them by mistake and click on delete. But if something is wrong and you can't change, or you have a problem with changing something, please get in touch. We'll help you get it sorted. If you're trying to add something else, then like patents or whatever, it has its own activity. If it's presentations, it's over here. And unfortunately, the publications is the only thing that you can do in bulk. Everything else will have to be done one at a time. So this basically covers this section. IT will, the landing page here has a comprehensive support on this. Each one of these will be a help file. Sometimes you'll have video help, training videos. So please knock yourself out. Go through these and see if you still have a problem. Please contact us. We have contact information for technical issues. For content issues, I would suggest that you first contact the head of department. If they cannot help, please get in touch with me. And I will sort out the access issues. I'm gonna have to stop the sharing to see if there are any questions. No, actually I don't. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so unless there are any questions, this concludes this presentation. Unless somebody wants something else.
Does anybody else have any question? Based on my personal experience, we have been using this for quite a while now for SBA. It's very time consuming, so do not wait until last minute. Do not wait until your department head say that you have to fill this up and then you're going to start working, because it's really going to be pretty complex. So try to do that as early as possible. So once you have access, to digital measure, please just, start putting whatever information that you could. So that's going to help you save a lot of time towards the end of the semester. Okay, anything else for Ahmad? Okay, Ahmad, it seems like everything is clear. Thank you so much.
No worries. Please, Norita, share my contact information with them, and I will double check on the access issue and get back to you to relay to the group.
I will. Thank you, Ahmad.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Okay, let me just get Ahmad's information.
Sorry, I will send it. That's my email and my office.
Oh, okay. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot about the chat thing. Sorry, everyone. This is the first time I'm using this, so I invested in Google Meet.
Oh, but this is good. See, you're doing fine. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna head out in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy, everyone, and welcome on board.
Thank you again, Ahmad. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, we are actually ahead of time. I'm not really sure if Julian is going to be joining us at 3 o'clock. But in the meantime, if you have any question, anything else that you need to be answered, feel free to ask me. So if there's any question that that you just want to ask, wait, let me just turn off the recording.